Hi everyone, we're going to do a little, actually some flip throughs and then a little bit of crafting and just some ideas I wanted to share that I've been doing. So first let's go through my flip throughs. I posted, so I have a couple journals that are ready, and so let me take the paper clip off on this one. So here we go, we have, so this is all clinkety clankety. So this is actually a glass bulb here. I've got a joy ornament. There's some glass beads. There's like a gift button, another button here, Santa, and just a lot of variety in these kind of vintage beads here. Little Christmas tree, there's a charm here. So I have a little variety on this, and so this is a paper clip that will go on here. And then, so it just clips on. And then this one, I did do like a no sound, or well, I just put Christmas music on, did a real quick flip through. So this one is in my Etsy shop. This is kind of a woodland Christmas. And let me go through this one real quick. I got so much stuff on my desk here. So let's go through this one real quick because I've already did a flip. So I've got a fabric pocket, like this is like quilting. And then this is a repurposed greeting card tag. This here is those silverware pockets that you put your silverware in. And so I made it as a pocket, and then I just juiced up a little bit of the card. And we got a pocket here with some holiday stationery. There's also a doily tucked in there. This is one of those bags where you put a candle in and like line your driveway or something. So this one has a dove. It's so fine right here, but this piece right here did come apart. Here, let me show you real close up here. So if you look, it's like a really fine small part there, so that is divided there. And then some children's book pages. Here's another greeting card. This is an actual vintage greeting card. Don't know the date of that one. There's a little bit of collaging here with ribbon and sewing. This is a pocket here. That's the letters to Santa. This is some vintage, kind of like an advertisement. And then another vintage book. Here is a flip up. This has some scrapbook paper on it that you can write on, kind of a secret spot, but these little adorable snowmen. This is stationery. This is a really old vintage cookbook page. Here, oh, this is actually a spot where you can put a photo. Did I make it a pocket? I don't remember if I made it a pocket or not. No, so you can glue a photo in there, put something cute in there. And then this is actually out of like a magazine page. It's kind of, it's just really cute. It's a different kind of, oh, you know what? No, this isn't a magazine page. This is actually from like an encyclopedia page on holidays and stuff. And then here's a tag. This is like an altered tag. And we got some wrapping paper, more book pages. This is a napkin that you can do whatever with. Another book page. Here's a cool Christmas pocket. These I made. These are coloring book pages that I sewed and put on the back of cardstock, and I can link the video below on how I made these, and I made them several different ways. So I'll show you that one. I'll list it. Here's one of those adult coloring books, and it has a gingerbread scene. I just thought that was cool. That'd be fun to color. Here's another one of those silverware holders. It's a bag. And then here is a vintage greeting card, the middle of a greeting card, and then there's a little secret pocket here. And then there's a little gingerbread that I put a really tiny clothespin on. There's a pocket on the side here. Whoops. There's a pocket on the side here with this really big fluffy yarn. Some more book pages. Now we're kind of just on the other side. Nope, that's not a book page. This one has a bunch of stuff in it, and here's another collaging pocket. And another fun pocket and tags. This one has a flip over. There's an envelope. Isn't that cute? These absolutely adorable elves. So that's a homemade envelope. Here is a tuck corner here on both sides. So this one's kind of all woodland themed, you know, kind of cabinish and rustic. Here's another pocket with some vintage advertising from a cookbook page. And then this is kind of this is a greeting card that kind of has a holographic to it. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Let's see what else we got here. It's kind of just the other side. This is a pocket. And then the back page. So this cover is actually from a composition book. So, and then you have the cloth spine. This is really adorable. I love this. And let me put that back on there. And this has got a jingle jangle to it. I just love it. Some jewelry pieces that make it look like ornaments and just adorable. So that one's available in my Etsy shop. Okay, then this is the same thing. This is a cover of a composition book that I, you know, gutted out, took all the paper, the writing paper out. So I'm using the cover. And so this one is adorable. This is kind of a dreamy type feeling. This is a book page from, and I don't remember, it's the night before Christmas. And it's kind of, you know, snowy and dreamy. So I put on some snowflake ribbon here, and there's a little bit of the city you can see here. And then I made this adorable, big, fluffy charm. And it is on with a paper clip also. So it has like acrylic beads. And then a little bit of this, and this is a metal charm here. This says 1. And then there's a little tree charm on this one, and then a gold bead here. And it's just adorable. It's just, I love it. It just goes with this beautifully, and it just kind of reminds me of fluffy snow. So that is the tassel that goes with it. This one, I believe, is unembellished. Let's open it up. So look at all the snowflakes. So we have a children's book page. Isn't that adorable? This is wallpaper. Some more stationery. Here's the advertisement. Some wrapping paper. Book pages. Some more cooking pages. Stationery. Rudolph story. This is a coloring book page. Isn't that adorable? So I did try to keep it kind of like the snowy theme throughout. And then we've got, this is another Rudolph book page. Here is, this is kind of like cardstock-ish, and I don't remember where I got this, but it's just one. I only have one. It was a one-of-a-kind thing, and I just put it in this one because it's white. This is a napkin, a Christmas napkin. 'Tis the season's greeting. There's some Christmas music paper. Some more children's book pages. Born This Night music, another different style. Some grid paper. This is adorable. I love this. And then this is May Christmas Bring You Loads of Joy. This is a coloring book page, but it's actually in a kind of like an adult coloring book page. And then we are, look at that spider web up in the corner. So we're on the other side because these are all one signature journals. These are so much fun to make. I absolutely love these. Yeah, there's adult coloring book page. That's the other side of the greeting card. Excuse me. I love this paper. Dreamy cabin look, house. And wallpaper, the other side. And there we go, and enough. And there we go. Sorry. I just have a tickle in my throat all of a sudden. And then, so this will paper clip on there. Like I said, you can remove it, or it's just adorable. I just love this look. So this will be available in my Etsy shop. And when you see the video, this will be available. Okay, so we have those two. If I can get rid of this tickle in my throat now. Okay, and then, so then I did some crafting. I've got several projects here going, and I just thought I'd share some of these. And if you hear my dog, she's in here. Okay, so, okay, these were inspired by Treasure Books. She did these, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I just thought the idea was just fantastic. So these are, you can actually use these for collecting all of your greeting cards throughout the holiday season. So I made three different ones. I started one, and they were just fun and easy, like she said. So I got some trim here, and then some Christmas fabric, and then this is all cardstock. And this one I just kind of made into kind of like a loaded one. And so I did this adorable snowman. So there's some book pages, tablet paper. Here's like a card, an envelope. Again, it's just all filled with a whole bunch of different items. And then there's little things down here. This is like a big old pocket with a book page. Isn't that cute? So you can, you know, take this out and put it in another journal somewhere too, if you wanted to. So that's in there. And then a bunch of, just a whole bunch of different things. These are little tags. This is a repurposed greeting card. And then there's a pocket. I added pockets in the middle of the signatures. So a little twist on what she did. This is a greeting card. So I put that in there. So there's, I believe, 2 interior pockets. And then another greeting card. I just love greeting cards, altering them. They're just so much fun. And then a whole bunch of other things here. This is a altered flash card. Another greeting card. And then I made, oh yeah, here's the other. So the other one I did at the top. And then here is an altered, not an altered, but a book page, children's book page made into a tag. And then here's for paper. Here is a paper clip that I made from a playing card. Another, this is part of a greeting card. Just made that into a tag. Here is another of the side pockets. And then this opens up, and then there is the envelope inside. Another cardstock that you can make as a journaling card. And then that is the back. So these are really cool. And they are fun to make. I just loved making them. So this one will be in my Etsy shop. So I will list this one. And then I probably will list these 2 empty ones. So this one I took the Shelf on the Elf. They make these you know, the little tiny cakes. It's just adorable how she's peeking out. So I just put her on the front. And then again, these pockets are all blank. This one has a top one. This one has a top one. And then, did I do any more sides? No, I did 2 tops on this one. So these are all pockets for you to decorate and store and put all of your greeting cards that you get, you know, throughout the holidays. And you can write messages down here. And so this one has kind of like a holly fabric on it. And then there's some gold ribbon. And then you can put a plate up here if you want, whatever you'd like it to say, or you can put 2025 or something. So I'll have this one. Of course, these empty ones will be much more reasonable because there's nothing in them. Now this one, I kind of made it vintage style. So I have an old snowman photo, or a Santa photo here, some gold trim, and then this is some old fabric. And then the pockets here. So these are all double-sided cardstock that I use, so you won't have any white pages. And then I took this, these plastic, what do you call them, like a slides, and I put this little vintage photo of children singing in the choir. So that's just hanging in there. So then these are all pockets. So this one's a little bit different with a double-sided. And then I didn't do any top or nothing on these. And so then this is that one. So that one will be available too. All right. Okay, now I've got some loaded pockets, and I've got 2 different ones here that I thought I'd share how I made them and what they're made from. But here's the empty one so you can kind of see better. So I took these pages. These are kind of nice heavy pages from these kind of like needlepoint books. These one kind of signature stapled in how-to books. So I took the pages and I thought they were really cool. So I, glued them together, doubled them up. I sewed all the way around. I put some fabric on them. And this one is like a horse, so it was kind of like, one horse open sleigh type theme to me. And I just thought these were cool, and they're really nice to fill. Like, this is just a 1-pocket one. Here is a deer, so like a reindeer. And then there's a pocket in the top. There's a pocket here. And then there's another pocket here. And I put some fabric, sewed around it. So that is that one. This one here, same thing. It has a top pocket. This is a deer antler. So here's a pocket this way, and then a pocket here with a nice star. And so I did some star fabric here, and then some Christmas fabric there. And these are fun, just like giving friends and your other crafting buddies Happy Mail, that type of thing. So this one here, and you can also put them in a journal. These are pretty big size, but you can make these smaller or any version. So here's a like a dove, and then here's a pocket here. There's a pocket here, and then another pocket up here. So these are just so fun. I just started making them, and then just boom, I found myself making 5 of them. So then here is the 2 loaded pocket version. So I put. So I have some 2 of my crafting friends that I'm going to give these to. So there's some vintage buttons on a pin, fabric here. So here is a paper clip dangle. So this is, and I have a bunch of these made. I can show you these. Whoops. And then here is an altered, let me just see if I can zoom down a tad. Oops, so you can see a little bit better. Here's an altered coin wrapper that I stamped, and then I made a little card here. And then this is just a journaling card that I folded over to kind of give it like, an edge here. And then I tucked that up under, and then the paper clip goes back on for some fun. Okay, that's got a little star on it. And then I've got kind of a vintage shaped cutout and it's embossed with dots as a journaling card. And then here's another homemade journaling card. C for Christmas gifts, or G, I mean, G for gifts. And then there is another one way up here. This is all just collaging of different children's books. And then there's a Brad there. That one's tucked up on top. And then in the back here, there is 2 pages of beautiful little angel stickers. So it's kind of like blue themed, obviously. And then back here is some tablet paper with a snowman. We'll stick him back down there. And then there is some more paper in the big pocket in the back. Some more snowman paper. And then in the deep pocket is one of my book page journaling cards that I made from upholstery fabric, and then my big giant lost my train of thought. The grommet, thank you. And then some beautiful ribbon, so this will be fun to write on. And that is tucked in there, which kind of gives the ribbon the kind of like top of it really cute. So that's what I have for this one. This has kind of got all the writing on it. And then this is kind of the same thing. This is kind of all redsies. So here I took a bulb pin. I took a bulb pin and then punched out this tiny little DIY. I think it's what is the name of that little magazine? Not cross stitch, but there's a little old paper type magazine, and so there's how to make a Christmas tree. And so I put it on cardstock, and so it's like a little tiny journaling card. And then of course you can see I sewed all the way around, put some fabric in. I tucked in another one of those coin wrappers, and this one says may your days be merry and bright. So this kind of has a little tag there, and this just tucks in this fabric. Here's a little journaling card, and then this one is actually a fabric tag that I made. Isn't that cute? So that's a fabric tag. I'm going to tuck that back in there. Well, actually I'll leave it out because I have to tuck it back in. And then another tag here, another one that I made. I think that one was in the back. And then this is a greeting card that we used as a journaling spot. And then this is an envelope. Isn't that beautiful? I just love these book page envelopes. And here's Santa. So that's tucked back here. And then here is the paper clip dangle. It's got a number 7 on it. So it's paper clipped on. Oops. And then the tall one in the back is my coloring book journaling card that I made with the big grommet. And look at that beautiful ribbon that kind of stays up to the top. There. Yeah, isn't these just fun? I just started making them, and then it was just like you can't stop once you start. So I'm just gonna tuck this, tucking this back in, and then that goes down here. So aren't those adorable? So I made those 2. Okay. So that is those. And I kind of have one here that, so these are the pages, you know, from these books. And I was just going to quickly show you. So some of them are plains. Let's see, you can tell the different color. Like this is a peacock or a parrot, a duck, fish, cow. I mean, none of these are like really Christmas, but you can make them for other types of journals. But basically what I did is I took one whole page, folded it in half, and then you can take another page, which I folded in half, which is, they're all doubled. I glued them together. And then, so then you just kind of start stacking them, you know. So if you wanted to have like a pocket up here, and then say if you wanted some cardstock, so maybe if you wanted to do 2 pockets like this, depending on what your scene is here, maybe this would be kind of cool like that. And then this could go at the bottom. So the pockets, and then I just cut it to size, and I cut it on my cutting board to make it a little bit smaller version, sew it all the way around. I, you know, ink the edges. So this pocket will go all the way down, this pocket goes down. And then you can double this up as well and make another pocket here. So you can take 2 pages if you want, or put something here to keep this sturdy. And that's just basically, you know, how I made those pockets. So it's that easy. There's probably lots of videos out there on how to make these altered pockets. So that's how I did those. And then I started making these. So these, again, I think I saw on Treasure Books, where she takes a piece of cardstock and then she folds them out. I mean, you know, there's probably lots of people who do them. So that is that one. So there's a bunch here. These are not decorated, but here's one that I made into where you could take, here we go. So like the top of your journal page, you could take it and put it over top. So you have this side here like that. And I put a wood piece here. And then I just decorated this with a to and from with a little jingle bell. I mean, you can really doll them up. But this one opens up, and then here is your paper. So there's those. So there's like just a whole bunch of different kinds. There's some skinny ones that I made. It's kind of just like a you know, like a hidden journaling spot. These are the type that goes over top of your page. Again, here's another one. This is like a 2-sided one. Again, they're not decorated, but you just glue paper, like decorative paper on it. This one I just showed you. It's kind of really cool. I like the idea. Here's one with Santas on it. And then this one here with kind of some stationery. Here's another one, the same stationery. And then this one with some snowflake paper. Yeah, so those are kind of fun to put in there. And again, this is the one that I'm going to use for my journal. So that's that. And then I started doing some kind of like loaded envelopes. I just kind of was, so here's some envelopes. I just started cutting out scrapbook paper, cardstock and paper, and just kind of like decorated them up. And I made some templates, and then these are actual stickers. And then so here's this envelope, and then there's a pocket here on this one. So these actually you could stick in your journal, and these would be different pages. So these are just some fun things that I was doing, just practicing with. Oh, this one's like a tuck spot. Here's the pocket. Here's the pocket on this one. And you can stamp here and do things. And then this one has the 4 corners. And again, like, you can put it right into your journal. And then here's just another one. Did I make a pocket out of this one? No. So there's the envelope there. This one I did like this. I just took my fancy scissors and kind of did the scalloped edge. And there's that. Oops, it's upside down. And then there. And then this one's kind of the finished one. So this one's kind of already filled. So this one has my tag that I made with, isn't that cute, from a magazine? And there's a little spot to do some journaling or a label. And then, so this is the tuck spot here for this one. And then you open it up. And then this one here is another tuck spot here. And then this is a vintage book page. And then this one here, just did some cutouts and some, is a snowman. Here's a greeting card and like recipe, a winter recipe that's in that one. And in the back you can put a photo. So that's kind of some more ideas for envelopes, using up those envelopes. All right, and then, so I did some more book pages with these. So what I did is I cut the image out. I was like, why not? So I cut the image out and I tried sewing. This is like a bingo chip at the top. And then you turn it over and of course you can journal on the back. I just thought those were really cool and you could probably sticker or do something with these. And so here's an angel. And I just did some cutting here. So these make really cute journaling cards by using these, you know, these how-to design books. And here's like a boat. I put it on cardstock and sewed all the way around. They're just like really cute journaling cards. So that's like another idea to use all of these types of booklets. And then I think I have more of those booklets I can show you. So here, let me grab a few so you can see them. So they're like these books here. I got a whole bunch. Oh, this one's one. Oh, these don't have anything in it. Or I took them out already. Hold on. Let me find some. So like here's one. See, this is what you can use. These here. Here's a Christmas one. See, look at all these adorable photos. And look at, you could cut this out and back it onto, you know, cardstock, and it would be an awesome journaling card. And to color them, you could color them with markers or pencils. So anyways, that is those type of books that I'm talking about, you know, needlepoint. Okay, and then, so I made, I just kind of went to town and made a whole bunch of the altered paper clips. So I just kind of made a whole bunch of them. These are like, oh, the really heavy, what do you call that? Like the, not the fiberboard, like the back of your tablet. It's the really hard, you know, thick ones. So I just made a whole bunch of them. And then these are little wooden ornaments and some bells. And here's a charm and some more bells. So I just did a whole bunch of these. I just was actually watching TV and made a whole bunch. And then here's some more. Here's one that's just kind of plain, doesn't have the cardstock on it. And these are very, very easy to make. Just super, super easy. So I have a bunch of those, and then I kind of got crazy and made some other non-Christmas ones. So like this is, what do they call them? You put them on your table, you just kind of spread them around your table. They're like at the Dollar Tree. And what I did is I took my little, oh, not that one. Oh, I don't know if I have it right here. It's a little screw. It's a hand screw. And just screwed a little hole in it, or, you know, drilled a little hole. It's just a little drill. And then I put an eyelet. I don't know if you can see it here. If I can get it close enough. You can see here, there's the eyelet. And then I put my jump rings on. So I made a couple of those. Hope that's Christmas. This is a Christmas one that I used. A pop can, colored red pop can with a dangle on it, or charm. There's a couple more here. But this one I did non-Christmas. So anyways, those are really fun to make. And then I just made some large ones. Actually, these are kind of the hidden paper clip. These are just kind of super easy And this one's got a charm on it. Altered paper clip. Okay, so we got those. What else? I was doing some scrap busting, and so I took a whole bunch of my leftovers and just kind of made my like frankenpaper, and this one I sewed through, and so it looks like that on the back. And then this one I just kind of glued them all on, and then I took my templates. I have a whole bunch of like you know, kind of like vintage bulb looking ornaments and stuff, but I have a whole envelope of all different shapes and sizes, and I just sat them on here and, you know, penciled them out, and now I'm going to cut them out, and then I'll have these really cool looking bulbs as journaling cards, and I backed it onto cardstock. So that's another project. Whoops. So that's another project. Easy to do and get rid of your scraps. And then I am currently working on this journal here. I'm trying to get these done. This is a book called The Creative Christmas Kitchen. So I widened the spine. So this was just maybe like a regular inch or so book. So I widened the spine. I put my dangle post here, and on the back I put this fabric bulb here, and then I'm in the process of covering this one up too, so I'll have a bulb here and a bulb here. So this is kind of like country kitchen. I'm gonna have some trim go down here, and what I did is I made this into a binder. So this was not a binder, it was just a plain book, and I drilled my holes, and I put this binder clip in. So right now I've just kind of got, you know, kind of, you know, kitchen-ish, you know, type items picked out, and I haven't did anything yet, but all I did was just make the cover. So it's very country, you know, country Christmas. It's more like probably going to be like a recipe binder, but doesn't have to be. And of course, you know, The Creative Christmas Kitchen. It's just really cool title if you are going to use it as a recipe book. So I may keep this on there. Let me know in the comments if like, no, don't keep it. Put a picture here. You know, I don't know. But I'm just beginning to do that. And, you know, it is really easy to put a binder on a cover. And this is a side binder, by the way. So the binder is here on the side instead of on the spine, because this is an ending one. But it's very easy, actually. And it's very fun to do. So that is the journal that I'm working on, and hopefully I can get it finished. What else can I tell you? I think that is it. Oh, I did find some bulbs, and I hot glued those on, so I'm going to use those as dangles. And then I did find some of the, like the big old bulbs, so I'm going to turn those into like a dangle charm too. And and then the other day, I'm going to try to stop buying stuff. I have so much as it is. It's kind of giving me my New Year's wish. But anyways, I ran into this book, The Christmas Storybook. It was $2.50 at this thrift store. And it's not really old. No, it's 1991, but the paper is actually kind of like construction paper style. But I love the photos in here. The illustrations are just awesome. They are just wonderful. Look at that. So here, let me zoom out so you can see the book a little bit better. But yeah, look at that. Jimmy in the New Year. Oh, those are just fantastic. And so I grabbed that really quick. I didn't need any more Christmas books, but These have all kinds of different stories in it. And I love it how the pages all have like a border. But yeah, look at that. There's so much in here. So anyways, I got that if you're interested. Oh, there's Frosty the Snowman I saw. But anyways, there's lots of stories in here. It's called the Christmas Storybook, and the ISBN is off of it, but it's by Grand Dreams. So anyways, I will stop there, and hopefully I inspired you with a few ideas and for crafting and for the holidays. So I will end it there. All right, see ya. Bye.